Hello, everyone, and welcome to a fourth episode of our Jump Space run through with all of the missions here. Thank you, Iris, for being loud. Today, we are going to do a hazardous salvage run just to talk about the experience and go through it as a solo. And hopefully, this will kind of help the devs refine or change some details about these missions in order to help make the full launch a better player experience, especially for solo players. Okay, drop.
The wrecks we want to salvage are in a sector a few jumps away from here. Once you're prepared, let's make our way over there and look for those resources. But be warned, I'm detecting legion signatures in the target sector.
Got your six, as they say.
Jump imminent. Remain seated. There is a facility up ahead holding valuable assets.
I
But
wish
its
I had a
security
better chair that
systems
was more
still
comfortable to
active.
sit in.
You'll need to perform an override to get inside.
Oh, look. Stationary ground targets that have no absolute threat towards me, because I could just fly over them like so.
Parking procedure initiated. Parking procedure complete. Caution. It seems that this facility has initiated a lockdown protocol. Anticipate resistance as you proceed.
No problem. I'll fetch that for you. No problem at all.
We need to get through this gate. You must initiate a security protocol override to open it. Hostiles incoming. You need to fight them off until the override is completed.
Hostile forces detected. You can leave some for me, too, you know. One less to worry about.
Progress halted. You need to perform a manual bypass to proceed.
Ground targets approaching. A fine shot indeed.
Progress halted. You need to perform a manual bypass to proceed.
Take that, you dirty machine. A fine shot indeed. Have at you, Legion scum.
System malfunction identified. A manual bypass is required.
Okay. Oh, oh, whoa. I'm glad the jetpack basically halted my momentum there. Otherwise, I'd be across the map right now. So let that be a bug. I basically latched onto this and tried to cancel my momentum.
Progress halted. You need to perform a manual bypass to proceed.
A fine shot indeed. Ground targets approaching. You can leave some for me too, you know.
What? He was dead.
Time to take out the trash.
System malfunction identified. A manual bypass is required.
One less to worry about. No more trash detected.
Also, if this video gets to, let's say 100 likes, because it's going to be impossible for me being a small time guy. If this video gets to 100 likes, I'll do an entire mission in Consuela's voice.
One less to worry about.
And the same Consuela from Family Guy. And honestly, if I get 1,000 subscribers before 2026,
Bringing it back to the ship. Absolutely.
I'll do more than like a single mission as Consuela. I'll do like a whole series where I only do Consuela's voice. Like I'll do a whole series of these missions that I'm doing for the devs, but only in Consuela. And for those of you who may be pressing X for doubt that I can do Consuela's voice, it's a little early in the morning for me to be an extra, but I definitely can do it. Um, and I'll definitely make it real fun. I'll add some fun to it. You know what? Fine. I'll just have that just in case if I pick up something good. Let's on foot ammo box.
Grabbing ammo. Grabbed ammo.
Okay.
Initiating takeoff. Detecting jump signatures. It's an ambush.
Locked and loaded.
Preparing to enter jump space.
Also, we should be taking way less damage while we're forced to be stationary and charging our jump drive. Way less damage. Like, we should be taking 80-90% less damage.
We'll need to get inside and disable it before we can proceed.
Our scans reveal some...
Stuff?
Why, yes. How did you know?
And I'm just gonna emphasize this. We should not be taking as much damage if we are being forced to remain stationary while we are preparing for a jump. So either mechanically the jump needs to change, or the ship needs to take much less damage than what it is, especially while we're jumping.
Parking procedure initiated. Parking procedure complete.
I'm with you to the bitter end if need be. A fine shot indeed.
Caution. It seems that this facility has initiated a lockdown protocol. Anticipate resistance as you proceed.
Have at you,
Now,
Mr.
something
Stark.
that I absolutely failed to articulate earlier in one of my videos, talking about the Omni tool, the Omni pistol here. Um, Honestly, I'm gonna be real clear here. I apologize for my rude and pointless tone when it came to the object without really providing
Exterminate all
clearer
creatures now.
clearer words on my frustration. I used expletives, and it's not constructive when I'm saying why I think it's a useless piece of shit. Um,
The jammer is behind that
and
locked door. I have
so
located
definitely gotta
access via
apologize
HQ
on that.
to bypass the
I could have been
mechanism.
clear and more concise about my frustration with the tool.
Hostile signatures detected.
So I'll do that now. The weapon right now does very little in regards to helping player progress in content. The devs have multiple times emphasized their confusion on players wanting specifically Mark III weapons, feeling frustration at losing their Mark III weapons. At least in the last Dev Stream 2, they specified that they were confused about, or at least not understanding player input or reactions to losing their weapons, or maybe not necessarily losing their weapons, but the emphasis players have put on obtaining Mark III weapons as a greater priority than some mission targets. There we go. So, excuse me.
Looks like it's
Uh,
going down.
I would say the biggest reason is because the multi tool does nothing in the way of supporting the player. It needs to act as a Mark 2.5 sort of weapon. It needs to have that punch where players are not afraid to lose these side weapons, and these side weapons should definitely be doing much more damage on average anyways than this tool, but this tool shouldn't be doing peas. I shouldn't have to spend here 10 minutes shooting at that guy over there waiting for his HP bar to go down, because I can use one of these and take down 3/4 of his HP. But I would have to reload this thing like 10 times in order to get him down to zero.
You're
That
welcome. I'll fetch that for you.
the time invested is not being rewarded to the player, and when it comes to a lot of things in this game, I feel like
Will do.
many of these
Absolutely.
time invested to reward of player aspects are being ignored, for really a lack of a better way of explaining my feeling, but to me it feels like player input in this case is specifically being ignored. Whether it's because the retention of the original vision is not being observed or understood by the player, but I just feel like it's not being properly handled, and definitely more developer. Uh, we need more dev streams. We need more
Grabbing ammo.
communication done right now. At this is a very turbulent stage because there's little. I mean, there's not a little. There's a lot. You guys gave us a lot for the early access, but there's still a little. And I know the plan is to add more sectors, more missions, but there need you're building wide, but y what's the point of building or digging an ocean when you don't have enough water to fill it?
Just don't end up like the other wrecks floating around. Grab what you can and bring it aboard so we can get out of here.
Our scans reveal some
Stuff?
Iris, what happened to your voice there? So I feel like that just needed to be specified slightly there. I am not really good at articulating my piece without, throwing some expletives in there, but I have to get better at that in order to be clear with my words, especially if this whole video series is not just to report my issues to the devs, but to also work on my stuttering and slurring issue that I have. Um, so, with that in mind, I just hope you guys will understand and just work with me on this. Hopefully, it won't be too bad for you in the long run. But yeah, I'm just gonna try to go at this one step at a time, try to apologize for mistakes as I go, rather than wait like 100 years later when someone, looks at my videos later on and says, "Oh, well, hey, you were a total cunt to these guys." And I'll be like, "Yeah, I totally was. But here's the thing, I've already apologized for
enemies
it."
incoming.
Um, and while apologies don't necessarily always make things right, and I want to emphasize that sorry doesn't always fix a broken plate, the intention should definitely still be read, and I definitely want to make it known that I was a dick. I definitely was a cunt to the devs for saying that their hard work on tool is a useless piece of shit. It does have its own issues, and it definitely needs to be put in line with the other weapons rather than the other weapons receiving a universal nerf. Please do not give nerfs. If something is being used more than others, consider what is the
Grab ammo.
primary reason why players are avoiding the use of a weapon or tool or whatever. It may not just be because it has more ammo. It could just be because it does more damage. Gamers are simple, unga bunga bullets and all that. So don't think too hard on why the player wants what we want, or yeah, like what the player wants because of why they want it. But it should definitely be like on the same boat as. Oh God, what am I trying to articulate here? I hope you guys understand. Anyways, I'm really shit at this. The word stuff, So just keep in mind it's still an early access game. I still have to keep in mind it's an early access game. I still have to try to be a reasonable human being and try to take a step back and learn from what the devs are implementing.
Time to take out
Because I'm not a game developer. I'm not like super smart. I mean, I'm smart. I feel like I'm pretty smart. I know a lot, or I at least try to learn at least one unique fact about the world every day. Um, so the the whole issue with the auto pistol, I hope I've managed to articulate my issue and my desire in a much clearer and concise manner without the flood of expletives that I gave as part of my frustration to the item. Hopefully, apologies are received and we're all cool and chill. I don't like being an enemy of anyone, but I'm also me, and I tend to just be passionate about my game, or not my game, but the games that I play, especially when they're not only my favorite genre, but the favorite part of a game as a game mode into an entirely new game that I really love. And like I said in a previous video, the closest thing that I can relate this game to is Warframe's Railjack, and holy crap, I left an yeah. The closest thing that I have to compare this game is to Warframe's Railjack. It is super fun, super clean, and it has many of the same elements like boarding enemy ships, taking them out. Well, you can't control them. It'd be pretty cool, you know. Um, maybe linking this up to a ship and uh, steering it around like a bull on horns, and it just shoots nearby enemies while we're like holding the E button and pushing the ship around by moving our mouse. I don't know. It'd be pretty cool. So, anyways, thanks for watching me do the salvage run. I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary, or at least me talking. I hope you weren't bored, you know. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again, guys. Yeah.